embarrassment to Pakistan. Pakistani senators have objected to the continued protection being given by the Pak state to Jaish-E-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar, the prime accused in the attacks on the Indian Parliament in the Pathankot base of the Indian Army. Even though China has been repeatedly protecting and supporting the terrorist mastermind on international fora on Pakistan's behest, the Pak Senate Committee on Human Rights criticized the Nawaz Sharif-led government for letting banned militants organizations operate in Pakistan. Well, let's get in further details from Abhinandan Mishra, who is joining us live. Abhinandan, what more can you tell us about this big world exclusive about how Pakistan's politicians in their country itself are getting extremely upset and disillusioned with their government stand on backing such terror organizations like Masood Azhar's?
This event took place on 2nd January, as I have reported, and the Senate members who are a part of the Human Rights Committee of the Pakistani Senate have severely criticized the Pakistani government on why they are protecting Masood Azhar and why they are using China to protect Masood Azhar. So this shows that at least some people in Pakistan's government are at least against the terrorism and are questioning the motives of Nawaz Sharif.
Absolutely, and this is of course extremely contradictory to their posture on world platforms, and also on occasions when even China has backed them on this extremely controversial issue, Abhinandan.
Yeah, and that's what one of the Senator Farhatullah Babar, who represents the Pakistan People Party, he directly stated this in the Senate, that why is China protecting Azhar unless it was being asked by the Pakistani government. And his statement was supported by the other Senate members also, including one Senate member from the Nawaz Sharif party.
Right, and of course the widespread consensus, we do believe, Abhinandan, in that Pakistani Senate Committee on Human Rights is criticizing the Nawaz Sharif government for quote-unquote letting banned militants organizations operate in Pakistan, not just get shelter, but of course carry out their operations full-fledgedly.
Right, and even not just Masood Azhar, they even targeted Lashkar-e-Toiba chief Hafiz Saeed without taking his name. And they clearly stated that banned organization in Pakistan, which include Jaish-E-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba, are roaming freely and resurfacing under new names. Despite the Pakistani government knowing this and the army knowing this, they are not doing anything.
Absolutely, and this has been something, Abhinandan, that of course India has been harping upon on world fora, bilaterally as well with Pakistan, but they don't pay any heed. Will they finally listen to their own senators? Will they finally acknowledge the problem now that their own are criticizing them for it?
I think this has to happen, and India should also take this up. Like, India should make this as a point to raise this in the international forum, that Pakistan own lawmakers are criticizing the government. It's not just India who's, as Pakistan says that we don't harbor any terrorists, but now the Pakistani senators are themselves questioning the motives of the Pakistani government. So I think India should take this up very strongly at the international forum.
Absolutely, and of course, these sound bites would only add weight to our charge, because remember, Abhinandan, so far, of course, Pakistan just dismisses it as Indian propaganda, and they say that it's India's charge versus their denial. But now that we have got their own, just dismisses it as Indian propaganda, and they say that it's India's charge versus their denial. But now that we have got their own senators on record, this further adds, proof and value to our claims and adds credence to them.
Exactly, that's my point. And as I said earlier, that this has changed the whole narrative, that Pakistan claims that India is the one who falsely alleges that Pakistan is supporting terror. Leave aside India, but now the voices are coming from the within, and that too from the parliamentarians, not from any NGOs or any such organization, but from the parliamentarians of Pakistan.
Well, this is clearly, Abhinandan, a snub to China as well. As I was saying earlier, China has been, of course, towing Pakistan's line and on Pakistan's behest, vetoing that hold that we've been trying to get on Masood Azhar, sanctions to be imposed on him as well, on the floor of the UN. They have been vetoing that consistently. Will this, change their mindset now? Will it be a clear snub to them and a clear, of course, message to China as well that don't have duplicity when it comes to terror.
It can't come more clearer than this. When the Pakistani senators are themselves taking the name of China and asking the Pakistani government that why is China protecting Masood Azhar. So it can't come more clearer than this. And I'm sure the Chinese government will take a notice of this. And maybe when the next resolution is moved to ban, to designate Masood Azhar as a terrorist, I think China will this time think twice before supporting him.
Okay, Abhinandan, stay on with us. In fact, Major General G.D. Bakshi, Strategic Affairs Analyst, is also joining us now on NewsX this morning. Major General Bakshi, how do you react to this? This is something that, India has been saying for many years, but now, of course, their own Pakistani senators acknowledging this and stating in no uncertain terms, why is the government backing such terror organizations? Okay, we seem to have lost that line with Major General G.D. Bakshi, but I'm being told Brigadier Mahalingam, security analyst, is also joining us now on NewsX. Brigadier Mahalingam, good morning, sir. How do you react to this news coming in? This is something that you and many other analysts in India have anyway spoken about. This is something the Indian government has also been putting on World Fora, but now Pakistani senators also acknowledging this.
The point that we must remember is Pakistani senators on a number of occasions have questioned the Pakistan's military's role in terrorism inside Pakistan as well as in Afghanistan and India. Unfortunately, they have not been brought out, they have been muted. Now that this has come, the issue that this has been happening is because of the predominance of the Pakistan's military in the internal affairs of Pakistan as also in the external affairs. Therefore, the senators, for fear of the military, have not been able to come out. If you may recall, a few days ago, Sartaj Aziz went back to the Senate and said that Kulbhushan Yadav, on him there are not so many evidences, no adequate evidence to prosecute him. That again went through. It is because perhaps there is a change in the military leadership and perhaps the present chief, their Bajwa, has had a change of mind and maybe he looks at the interests of Pakistan more than developing the terrorism within and outside Pakistan. This is an issue which we need to take a look at.
Absolutely, and of course we need to look at very closely, sir, and it should, add value and further credence to our claims, because the fact is, on the World Fora as well, this can be used against Pakistan, Brigadier Mahalingam, given that their own are acknowledging this, given that their own senators are saying the government is trying to protect these organizations, not just Masood Azhar's, but Hafiz Saeed's too.
I don't think the government is really involved in the protection of Masood Azhar or, for that matter, Hafiz Saeed.
But just turning a blind eye. Turning a blind eye.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a question of the Pakistan's military and the ISI who have brought these people up, who have been funding them, and who have been supporting them in all their efforts. Pakistan's military looks at these organizations and these individuals as an extension of its military.
Right.
If you can see through, till now the Pakistan's army has absolutely done nothing excepting firing at the LOC. It is these elements which have been taking their offensive across the border. It is for that reason Pakistan's military has been supporting them. And in fact, if people tell me that Rahil Sharif has been great commander, I've always been saying that he has absolutely done nothing excepting ordering his people to create trouble in the border and using very heavy weapons and even chemical weapons inside the Pakistan itself to control their own people inside Pakistan.
To pressurize them. Just stay with us, Brigadier Mahalingam. Commodore G.J. Singh, security analyst, also joining us now on NewsX. Commodore G.J. Singh, how do you react to this report, sir? This big world exclusive showing how even their own now are acknowledging this problem that exists within Pakistan, where patronage is clearly given to these terror organizations.
You see, this is a clear indication that the civil authority in Pakistan is now gaining ascendancy over Pakistan military because of change of the chief of army staff in Pakistan. It was estimated even before I have spoken on your channel and said that Bajwa seems to be of a different mindset. He has been anti-terrorism. He has been saying that these terrorists who are enjoying this security cover from the military are more dangerous to Pakistan than India. So this clearly establishes the fact that Pakistan is now trying to come up and address other issues rather than terrorism. Pakistan army seems to be still in control because it seems that Pakistan army chief has not fully taken control. It is almost 2 or 3 months. Maybe in another 2 to 3 months, he will be able to support Nawaz Sharif because it was in the media that General Bajwa is a good family friend of Nawaz Sharif, his brother, and he seems to be towing the line of Nawaz Sharif. And this is a fact. And this is because of this that Nawaz Sharif has chosen General Bajwa as his army chief. So I think there will be some positive changes now, and the senators have, gained confidence once again to speak against these terrorists, to speak against these anti-social elements, and trying to mute their voice and sort of deflate their influence in Pakistan. Because in Pakistan, the terrorists seems to be calling shots in every, sphere of life. They have been interfering in the political foreign policy of Pakistan, in the domestic policy of Pakistan, and they have been encouraging, enmity and jealousy and all kinds of venom against India. And that doesn't seem to be working well in the interest of Pakistan. And therefore, Pakistan now seems to be, coming on an even keel, coming on to be upright to get out of this pit of, destructive terrorism, which is more dangerous to them than any other force in the world. So I think all these signs seems to be positive, and hopefully in the time to come, Pakistan should become democratically more stronger.
But for that to happen, Commodore G.J. Singh, will this have to be, further raised on World Fora? Will this have to be, used as proof by India to slam Pak on global fora, given that their own senators are acknowledging this, given that now they can't just say that this is Indian baseless charges? And hopefully, will China, change its mind? Will China change its mind on Masood Azhar? Will China end their duplicity as well on terror?
You see, as far as the Indian diplomats are concerned, Indian foreign policy is concerned, I think they are trying their best to the hilt. They are leaving no stone unturned in exposing Pakistan on every international forum. And there is no doubt about it that our diplomats have been very successful in creating the correct image of Pakistan in the world international community. But you see, China is guided by its own interests, and the major interest is this 46 billion China-Pakistan economic corridor. They seem to be more guided by their own economic interests. So therefore, to keep Pakistan on its side, they seems to be, favoring Pakistan's foreign policy and their moves to protect Azhar. But I think if we continue to build up the pressure, it will not be very difficult for them to give in. It could happen, but at the same time, the world powers like America and Russia and other European countries, they understand it. They understand the constraints being experienced by China because it's a heavy investment, and their vision is to control the western seaboard of India, Arabian Sea, and they are guided by their own national interest and their vision.
Okay.
So therefore, it's a little difficult, but I think we will have to make some more maneuvers internationally and especially with China to get things in the right way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Commodore G.J. Singh and Brigadier Malingam, thank you both for joining us with that perspective there on this story. Let's quickly go back to Abhinandan Mishra. Abhinandan, you were hearing, a reaction to your story by these defense analysts. What do you make of it?
I think they are like what Mr. Mahalingam said was absolutely true, that the pressure needs to be mounted more and more. And maybe, I mean, we cannot tell right now, but maybe these senators who have spoken against Masood Azhar might not do the same thing again after this issue becoming becoming in news. But that's what I said earlier, that the Indian government needs to take it up at the international forum by giving the examples that no, we are not alleging that Masood Azhar is a terror. These allegations are coming from the Pakistan senators themselves.
Yeah, and of course it's on record. It's not like they can deny this, later as well. This can of course be used as proof. This can be used as part of our dossiers, because these are all statements on record, Abhinandan.
And this also proves, as you must have read, that the Pakistan government is not taking any action against these banned organization, which was stated by one of the Senator Azhar Hassan of the Pakistan People's Party. He said this on record, that we are not taking any action against these banned organization.
Does this, further substantiate that claim, Abhinandan, that when it comes to terror and when it comes to, of course, Indian policy, it's more often than not that the army has their say. The government has a very limited role. And it seems the army is ruling the roost and is completely dictating in these matters what the government should do. And that's what these senators are frustrated about, possibly, Abhinandan.
Yes, and as Brigadier Mahalingam said, that now with the change of the new army chief, things might change. And this is something which might we will see in the coming time.
Absolutely. And of course, they are acknowledging also that terror is a problem that has affected Pakistan, directly as well. That's another reason for their frustration and these voices coming out, isn't it, Abhinandan? Because they're saying in no uncertain terms that terror will go down. If there is no patronage, if there is no support, terror will go down, and they do acknowledge, of course, that terror is affecting Pakistan as well. You can't just have it as a soft state policy, to be directed towards India. It will hit home. Abhinandan.
Hello?
Yeah, Abhinandan, I was saying, don't these statements, of course, show the frustration that this terror is also affecting them in their own home as well? It can't just be directed towards India.
It is. And these observations were made by the senators when they were discussing the Quetta bombing in last year, in which 70 people were killed in Pakistan. And then the Pakistan government had done one member judiciary commission to look into it. And that was the frustration, that the recommendation of that commission was not being implemented by the Pakistani government. And that commission had also stated that banned organizations are, despite being banned, are operating in Pakistan and carrying out blasts and killing people.
Okay, and Abhinandan, the fact also is that, they're referring not just to Masood Azhar, but we believe to other terrorist organizations, including, of course, the Hafiz Saeed's Jamaat-ud-Dawa.
They are, and without taking his name, they said, and I quote, that they are roaming freely and resurfacing under new names. As we know that Lashkar has changed its name to Jamaat-ud-Dawa. So basically, the whole thing in this whole issue is that at least the senators, a part of the senators in Pakistan are now speaking against the agenda of Pakistan when it comes to terror.
Absolutely. And of course, the man who's being shielded and the man who's being talked about, directly for India most recently was primarily responsible for the Pathankot attacks, as has been,
yes,
claimed by the government and proved in those dossiers and that evidence, Abhinandan.
And yes, and this will come as a major embarrassment for China, and I think it should come, because China has been protecting Masood Azhar at the international level, at the level of UN. And now with this coming, that now the Pakistani senators themselves are saying that why is China protecting Masood Azhar? This should come as a big embarrassment for China.
Absolutely.
Not just Pakistan.
Yeah, exactly. It's a clear message to China, of course. Embarrassing that they've been defending this man on a global fora, and also, of course, it is, of course, a snub to Pakistan with their own senators acknowledging this problem. Many thanks, Abhinandan Mishra, for joining us with that perspective, taking us through those details. This, of course, is a big NewsX Sunday Guardian exclusive. We'll be tracking that story. Quick break on that note.